You'll be received as invited guests, and so I urge you to observe proper social etiquette and conduct yourselves accordingly. Your safe return takes precedence above all else. Remember this. Thancred in particular will be worried sick if you're gone too long. May the Fury watch over and keep you. Alright, why did you say that, like, italicized? Is he gonna be around secretly? Are you and the children ready? I will explain the route once we are outside your camp. If anyone attempts to follow us, we will judge it as an act of hostility. We will not hesitate to take appropriate measures. I mean, probably gonna fucking do that anyway. I would expect nothing less. You have our full cooperation. Alright, this is far enough. Listen carefully. We head over that hill and then follow the road till we reach Liminal Station 4. Children in the lead, I want you where I can see you. We do have names, you know. I'm Alisaie, and he's Alphinaud. Last but not least, there's Goddess. Goddess, where have I heard that name before? No matter. Alphinaud and Alisaie will watch the road ahead while we bring up the rear. I wasn't lying about there being many dangers, so you're to run, not saunter, run towards the station. If you even think about going for your weapon, the deal's off. Should any creatures bar the way, we go around them. Okay. So, can't fight shit. Ready to make a dash for the station? Fine. This is it. The first stop, that is. Good. Looks like your friends knew better than to follow us. Are these your headquarters? No. We're stopping here so I can check for pursuers. Since it appears you kept to your side of the bargain, we can carry on. North of the station is Regio Demorum, one of the main residential areas, or at least it was. The afflicted roam the street in packs. They'll tear us to shreds if given the chance. Keep close, no wandering off, understood? From here, we'll be heading northeast, keeping to the left of the railway. While the route itself is straightforward, getting past the hordes seems anything but. Keep your weapons at the ready. They would attack their own countrymen? Aye. They spared their own but slaughtered the rest without hesitation. So it's like zombies. Though we'll try to avoid detection, the chances of sneaking by completely unnoticed are slim at best. I'll lead the way, but in the event we're seen, you're to fight them off. Those two will follow us, provided they can refrain from drawing their weapons. While I doubt they would be foolish enough to stab their guide in the back, I will not take that chance. That said, let us proceed. I see why your comrades chose you. Jullus, our contingent has a cure for the afflicted, or tempered as we called them. Your people would need to be taken into custody that we may administer the treatment, but they would eventually regain their sanity. Is that so? For all I know, your treatment would simply force them to forsake one master for another. And as far as I and my legion are concerned, they are no longer our people. They're beyond saving. Those who thought differently and tried to reason with them were butchered for their bleeding hearts. Come, we have to keep moving. Look at what they've become. Would you still stand there and claim that they can be cured? Well, I mean, when you have tentacles for a head, probably not at that point. Those exposed to a vast quantity of a primal's ether may suffer severe corruption. Even with treatment, such victims are beyond salvation. Then you admit it. Now that you've seen these monstrosities for yourself, perhaps you'll think twice before speaking of a cure. We're almost there. You've kept your side of the agreement, so I will keep mine. This way. This is Tertium, one of Garlemald's largest stations, and now serves as our headquarters. I've already sent the twins ahead. I will be with you soon, so wait for me at the bottom of the stairs. Subway. It's plain to see why they chose this as their base of operations. They could have done a lot worse. Even so, I imagine it's not the easiest place to live. Indeed, and if Jullus was willing to make the perilous journey to Camp Broken Glass in search of food, their own supplies must be all but exhausted. They may be shielded from the wind and snow, but it's still bitterly cold. Much like Victor's spoils, it must be a constant struggle to keep their people warm. Lower your voices. While you may be here as my guests, the others will not take kindly to your presence. My commander is in the locomotive over there. The one that looks like a fucking trap? Oh, there's actually a commander in here. Okay.
These are their chosen representatives.
Very well. Let us hear what they have to say.
Yes, sir. I present to you our commander, Lord Quintus Van Kina, Legatus of the First Legion.
The First? I had no idea you had survived.
We lost our emperor, our city, more than half our troops. For my wounds, I may never take the field again. But we survived, aye. In a manner much to your liking, I dare say.
Oh, here we go.
We have no intention of adding to your misfortunes, nor do we bear you any ill will.
I mean, you probably really should bear them ill will, considering all they've done.
Spare me. Though you children may speak in earnest, overtures of peace ever ring hollow in my ears. So long as man stands to profit from his neighbor's suffering, war is inevitable. Driven from our ancestral homeland into this blasted waste. Yet still you yearned to rob us of our paltry scraps. 'Twas only with Magitech that you learned to keep your distance. Though we knew it was only a matter of time before you regrouped and returned. Conquest and empire were our only defenses. Emperors Solus and Varys understood this, and through their campaigns saw us grow and prosper. Much blood has been spilled in Garlemald's name, aye. But if it is a choice between yours and mine, then it is hardly a choice at all.
I do not deny that a great many conflicts throughout history were driven by the desire or necessity to gain by another's loss. That is not why we are here. Nor have we come to petition your aid in the war with the Telophoroi, grave though that threat may be. Our purpose is simply this. We wish to help you. Let us help you. If there is aught that can be done to ease your plight, we would be glad to do it.
Perhaps you would. But regardless of the ideals you espouse, your leaders would not send an army into Garlemald if they did not stand to benefit. If we accept their aid, they will expect their efforts to be rewarded once the Telophoroi are no longer a threat.
I mean, a little give and take is pretty normal and expected. Don't get nothing or something for nothing.
And after compensation and concessions, the great empire would be brought to heel. Her enemies rejoice at her downfall. Our third eye, a mark of shame.
It already is?
We won't stand idly by and let your people be humiliated. And we're not alone in that. We only want to make a difference, to make this world of ours better. Surely you can understand that. What I'm trying to say is, there are so many people who just don't care about making you suffer. And maybe that's almost insulting after all the suffering you feel the world has subjected your people to, but believe it or not, that's the truth. And now we're here, and all we're asking is for you to tell us what you want, what you hope for.
So much blood has been shed, so much lost. All because of this endless war. Who wouldn't want to end it? Can we not work together to face our problems as one?
That's asking a lot from these guys.
Answer me this, young peacemakers. If a world without conflict is your desire, why reject the unity and prosperity of Garlemald?
Because that's a fucking lie. The way they subjugate and use other races to their own ends, that's not the kind of unity that everybody benefits from, just a select few.
Is it because we do not share your faith? That we do not share your heritage? That our ideals and virtues differ? That we cherish and hold in the highest that which you do not?
I mean, it's that you treat other races like absolute garbage.
Disparity is the root of discord, and peace built on compromise is flawed and fleeting. Happiness for one and all is a dream, and the reality is that to the victor go the spoils. That is why we Garleans will never submit nor surrender. For freedom and for pride, we will remain true to ourselves until the bitter end. That is my hope.
Then fucking die for your pride, you idiot.
It seems there is nothing more to say on the matter.
Oh, that's hilarious. You think you're gonna take us down?
You will remain here while I decide what is to be done with you. Do not be alarmed. No harm will come to you if you cooperate.
We will not resist. However, as your guests, I ask that we be allowed to speak with the other members of your group.
As you wish. I had no intention of locking you up, as by dawn you would be frozen stiff and you're no good to me dead. You are free to move about the encampment, but there is one condition. Collar them.
What? You try to lay a collar on me, you will die.
What are these?
Incentive. You'll be watched at all times. Stray too far or act suspiciously, and we will administer a rather painful shock. Stop! Keep away from that one.
Yeah, I'll fucking murder you.
The champion of Eorzea is not so easily cowed. Even if he allowed himself to be collared, the shock would be no more than an itch. No. If he refuses to obey, we will activate the twins' restraints instead.
Oh, that's dirty pool.
You needn't worry about us.
Shock away.
We'll forget we're even wearing them soon enough.
Even now, you still... Why go to such lengths? What is it all for?
Peace, you idiot. Oh, good. Because even the most bitter adversary may one day see reason. On the coldest, blackest of nights, meager though it may be, we must share the warmth with our fire. This one I don't know if it's true, because even Emmett, after all that bullshit, didn't necessarily see reason. He just said, remember us, and then died. So, I don't think that's actually true. But, this one kind of is. Oh, god damn it. Fucking cruel game. Fucking do that to me again.
You are a curious one. A far cry from the merciless barbarian others paint you to be. You will be their warden. Take them away.
Yes, sir.
So I can just teleport out, right? As per Lord Quintus's instructions, I am to supervise you during your time here in Tertium. Before you ask, no, I don't have a key or any other means to remove your collars, nor would I tell you if I did. If you try anything, you'll soon wish you hadn't. So, do you truly intend to speak with the others, or was that merely a ruse? We're in no hurry to disobey Lord Quintus, if that's what you mean. Or perhaps you doubt the wisdom of his decision? Do as you will, but remember, I'll be watching. If I catch wind of you doing anything untoward, trying to trick our people into turning their coats on, and the like, those shock collars will be the least of your worries, understood? Though we've somewhat compromised, to put it lightly, let's not waste this opportunity. I suggest splitting up and learning what we can of their situation. And above all else, don't use magics of any sort. You, on the other hand, may go wherever you wish. Even outside the camp, I know full well I couldn't stop you if I tried. But do not forget, if you do anything to endanger us or our interests, Alphinaud and Alisaie will pay the price. You came with Jullus, didn't you? Well, whatever business brought you here, you'd best keep your hands off that aetheryte. It's deactivated, but I'd rather you didn't mess with it. There are others throughout the city, built by Garleans for Garleans, could teleport all over in the blink of an eye, provided there was a terminal nearby. These days, however, we use the aetheryte's power to keep this place lit, though that comes at the cost of its normal function. For now, you mean? So cold. Oh, it's gonna die. It's you, Goddess Brownflower. I served under Lord Gaius in the 14th Legion. I was there the night the Praetorium fell. You and your adventurers, you killed them, my comrades, my friends, swept them aside in the dozens as they were nothing to you. Yeah, they kind of weren't, but, sorry? And maybe I am too, just another faceless enemy to be cut down. But it won't be long until our countrymen return until you get what you deserve, mark my words. Oh, God. You know, maybe you guys all deserve to just die. There's only so much you could take trying to convince these people. The radio is the same model as the one used at the victor's spoils. Perhaps it is what saved the soldiers here from being tempered. I know who you are. The so-called champion of Eorzea. Come to gloat, have you? I'll wipe that smirk off your face, but the blood of our fallen compatriots, I swear I'll ugh. Damn, tore the sutures. Of all the times, the worst of the lot within striking distance, and I can't even muster the strength. You wouldn't even be a scratch on my skin. If it weren't for the third of bleeding us, we'd be the end of you. Virgilia's treachery nearly cost Lord Quintus his life. We made our escape. Took shelter in a mansion, tended to the wounded as we prepared to strike back, and then... Night fell and we gathered around the radio. Then the roar, the terrible roar. The capital was in chaos, but we were spared. If you call this a mercy, mind intact but body broken, soldier in name alone. I'd cut you down where you stand if I could, murderer. You wish. Did you learn anything of note? Not anything good. And your findings are consistent with my own. Their plight is desperate indeed. The sick and injured are at greater risk. Without warmth and proper nutrition, I feel they will soon perish. I realize there's precious little we can do for them at present, but I cannot bear to see them suffer. But why? Like, even if we help them, even if we got them all back to full strength, it's not like they would learn to coexist. They would still keep pressing their own agenda. I don't know how you find a common ground unless you essentially deprogram all of them from what they've learned since, like, you know, since they were born. Please will you help me tend to them? I mean, I don't really have much of a choice, I guess. I don't want to see you electrified. Who's there? My eyes, they can't see all that well. Ah, thank you. The numbness has subsided a little. But I know I won't last much longer. You should look to the others who can still fight. Give them my ration. If me going hungry means someone else lives to see another day, so be it. At least I could serve in that way. So those you met fare no better? I was afraid you'd say that. I know we were warned against meddling in their affairs, but we can't leave them like this. Perhaps we might gain permission to have the contingent deliver supplies? You're gonna push it, Alphinaud, but I guess we could try. Quintus may have made his feelings on the matter quite clear, but even he must recognize they're not in a position to refuse help. Did you not hear what he just said about their all-encompassing pride? Well, maybe Jullus could persuade him, though we need to persuade Jullus first. Well, seen enough? Jullus, the people here have barely enough food and fuel to survive. Have you and the other soldiers been able to procure any more supplies? We've been scavenging provisions from the nearby houses, as most families kept some stored away and they bet they were snowed in. Still, going out and getting it is dangerous work, and we've a lot of mouths to feed. Fuel is the greater concern, though. We had some ceruleum set aside until it was stolen. We haven't identified the culprit. Could have been other refugees, or one of the afflicted for all we know. Either way, we're going down to the last dregs. Without the heating they need, those in poor health are only going to get worse instead of better. If it's ceruleum we need, our contingent has secured a ready supply. We can have some sent over. We will not accept your charity. Then perish. If we can hold out a little longer, the situation is sure to change. Wow, that is some denial. Aye, everything will change. One of your comrades mentioned something along those lines. Those mysterious countrymen of yours, I assume? Heard something of it, have you? Well, from what I've seen, there's little you could do to interfere, so there's no harm in telling you. One of our scouts spotted a hooded man issuing instructions to the afflicted, or in the bastard's word, loyal servants of the Telophoroi. Then he made his way inside the Imperial Palace, or what stands in its place. We'd identified the seat of the enemy's power, we realized. Lord Quintus dispatched a messenger to the 10th Legion saying as much, and instructing them to join forces with the provincial legions, to prepare for combined assault on the Telophoroi. Once our allies arrive, your contingent will be sent running for the hills. Then we shall reclaim the capital by our own hand. That is hilarious, because unless you guys have talismans, you are fucked. And how do you intend to survive in the meantime? At this rate, many of your countrymen will perish long before the reinforcements reach Garlemald. They need help now. Say the word and we'll bring you ceruleum. I will speak with Lord Quintus. So, did he agree to it? Am I not surprised? No, he will not place Garlemald in the debt of her enemies. I have, however, been ordered to search for ceruleum outside. As you are under my watch, you will come with me. Very well, after all, many hands make light work. You are a lot more trouble than you're worth, yeah. I don't think you should be too optimistic around these assholes. Once we are outside, you will follow my instructions to the letter. We depart shortly. Park materials, that's great. We will begin our search for ceruleum in Regio Urbanisma. The first location is Forum Soleus, a park to the northwest of the station. You are to remain close at all times and act only as ordered. Follow me. So this is the park. I'm surprised they found space for one amongst all these buildings. Actually, the recreational areas came first. The houses were later built around them. A healthy society requires communal spaces for children to play and adults to socialize. This park was named after the founding father of the Empire, the great Solus Galvus. Yeah, that's such a joke. If only you guys knew about him. Did we come to extract ceruleum from the wrecked magic armor? No, we've already drained it dry. Same goes with the rest of the machina in the vicinity. But as ceruleum has been stolen, we must scour the city for every last drop. And while I don't expect to find anything here, I've decided to try one more time in case something else has been overlooked. I see. Then with your permission, we'll commence the search. Oh, so it's you. Any luck? Mm-mm. There's no sign of any ceruleum. Hardly surprising, but disappointing nonetheless. I couldn't help noticing you gazing at the pond. Is something the matter? What? Yes. I mean, no. It's just I used to bring my brother and sister here to play. The pond was heated to stop it from freezing over, so like all other children, they just had to wade in and splash about. Would have stayed there if I didn't drag them out. We'd be sopping wet when all was said and done, every time. And every time when we get home, Mother would scold us, saying we'd catch our death walking around like that. The pond was heated. With a ceruleum-powered heater, by chance. I suppose it might have been. Come to think of it, I remember seeing engineers changing out a tank beneath the hatch. But that was a long time ago, when the water still flowed clear and wasn't this brackish muck. We can't see a thing, and I can't remember where the hatch might be. With the machinery most likely broken, the amount of filth in there is probably the only reason it hasn't frozen over. I'd wager it's still unbearably cold, though. Julius, what are your thoughts on magic? The average Garlean would jump out of their skin if they saw it, but the first has a few foreign signiferi and Medici, so it doesn't scare me. Then I take it you won't mind if I employ a little now. Alphinaud, as you have a knack for finding dry wood, why don't you bring me some? Once that's done, a blast of our fire should do the trick. Leave it to me. You're not planning on going in there, are you? Of course I am. That tank isn't going to fetch itself. It's nothing so involved as extracting unprocessed ceruleum from a frozen lake, now, like how the tappers do it. We're talking about a shallow pond in a park, and we have a way of warming ourselves up after. But that's insane. So, fancy a dip? A little friendly competition might make things interesting. The last thing we need you do is catch a cold. We don't need that. Step aside while I drink the pond dry. That way we'll Okay, I'm not gonna do that. Last thing we need is you to catch a cold. If you're that concerned for my well-being, you can dive in and help me look. The quicker we find that ceruleum, the sooner we get out of here. I suppose. Whoa. Oh, chilled to the bone. Nope, didn't find anything yet. Nope, it's gotta be this one. Oh, a handle. Oh, I thought I would actually see it. Invisible thing. You open the hatch and retrieve a cerulean tank. A cold. However, your grand discovery comes at a great personal cost, as you become acutely aware of the freezing cold and rancid odor emanating from every elm of your body. Jullus will doubtless feel compelled to pinch his nose shut when you deliver him your prize. Oh, okay. Didn't expect that to be funny, but that's a welcome surprise. Here's your damn ceruleum. Did you find anything? Sniff, sniff. I hope you did. There. Take it. That's it. And there's still some ceruleum left. Ah, the fire's still not ready. Hold on, I'll give Alphinaud a hand. Call me an old Don, because by fire I am reborn, and my clothes are mostly dry now too. I appreciate you recovering the ceruleum, but I wish you'd taken the time to discuss the plan with me beforehand. Despite the way you've been treated, in Lord Quintus's eyes, you're still envoys deserving of protection. If you were to die on my watch, he would be most displeased. Your concern is duly noted, but all's well that ends well. Jullus, you mentioned coming here with your younger siblings. Did you grow up in Garlemald? I did, not far from here. My father was an accomplished researcher in his youth, and for his contributions to the Empire awarded an estate. We lived well, better than many. What was Garlemald like in those days? Everything. It was everything you could imagine, and so much more. Even during the coldest winters, we always found warmth and comfort at home. Coming in from the snow, taking off your coat and sitting down for a hot meal with the family. Visiting friends and relatives, receiving the same welcome, knowing they had everything they needed. Walking down the street, seeing the lights in all the houses, hearing the faint sounds of laughter and song, of happiness. And although the summers came and went all too quickly, in that brief respite, the ice would melt and the forgotten grass made its triumphant return. Gray clouds gave way to blue skies. Some mornings we'd climb to the top of the tallest buildings we could find and watch the sunrise. Never again. Those rooftops are rubble. Those friends are dead, and those memories... But if I could reclaim even a fraction of what we once had... Soon, our chance will come. We just need to hold out a little longer. Yeah, you keep thinking that. You keep thinking that. Let's move on. Alright, now that you've recovered from your escapades in the pond, there's another location I'd like to search, just outside the park. As you can see, this place is littered with the remnants of various types of war machina. While my comrades and I have already recovered the tanks from the less damaged units, those that took a more severe beating are harder to scavenge. We decided to save those for another time, that time being now. Rather than prise them apart piece by piece, it would be quicker to remove the outer casing using compact explosives. With luck, we'll gain access to the tanks without rupturing them. Though the force generated by these devices is relatively weak, I would advise you to stand well clear to avoid being hit by any shrapnel. Before even bothering, though, you should check the machina's ceruleum gauge to see if there's any left. It should still provide an accurate reading even when the unit itself is inactive. If the gauge is broken, I'll let you decide whether to use an explosive or not. Should you need more, come to me. Understood. Let's get to work. Oh, half empty. Okay. More explosives? Wait, is that what I think it is? You've done it again. Truly, luck is on your side. With this, we should be able to refuel quite a few of our heaters. It's time we headed back. Wait here while I go and see how Alisaie and Alphinaud are faring.
Finally escaped the watchful gaze of your keepers, have we?
Is that Link Shell? Link Pearl?
Don't react. You'll only draw attention to yourself.
Oh, he's invisible.
Carry on as you are and listen.
Okay, I didn't think about him being invisible, but good.
After you left with the Garlean lad, Lucia bade a few of us scouts follow you at a discreet distance.
Oh no. It's gonna alert the Garleans and then they're gonna like just fucking try to attack everything, aren't they?
We observed you being led into the station, but decided against venturing inside. When you emerged sometime later, and we saw that the twins were sporting Magitech collars, it was clear what had taken place. Now, as quietly as you can, tell me everything.
I can be very quiet because I've never even heard my own voice when I talk in these cutscenes.
The Legatus himself, eh? Now there's a surprise. This is also the first I've heard of a plan to join forces with the 10th and storm the Tower of Babel. An interesting development, and perhaps the opportunity we've been waiting for. Our comrades back at the camp also received some rather promising news, but it's still too early to get our hopes up. For now, keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands the Garleans make, indulge them. With luck, this will all be over soon. Until then.
Indulge them. It's like a if you give a mouse a cookie situation. Better be careful how much you indulge.
They had not gone far.
We searched high and low, but no luck, I'm afraid. I might have guessed you'd be the only one to find anything.
I wasn't expecting much to begin with. Eventually, there will be nothing left out here for us to safely salvage. For now, this will have to suffice. We should return to the station.
Ah, there you are. Heard you'd gone hunting for ceruleum above ground. Brought back a king's ransom?
You wish.
Hardly. But thanks to these three, we have enough to last a little while longer.
Well, well. It's not at all as I was expecting, these ones. For savages, they seem positively docile.
Oh my god. Lay off with the savage bullshit.
It's a poor attempt at humor. In all honesty, I'm grateful for your efforts. But even with another night of warmth, there are those among us who may not live to see the morrow.
I trust your expedition was fruitful.
Lord Quintus!
Use what you procured to refuel the armor.
What? Instead of heating yourselves?
Sir, what about the heaters for the camp?
He wants all you to freeze. I think mutiny might be on the menu.
The time for action is upon us. My men and I have matters to discuss. In the meantime, you are to wait here. Do not forget, you are being watched.
The time for action. What did he mean by that?
I can only speculate. Clearly something requiring their magitech, given what we just heard. Whether they plan to utilize it now, or after they join with the 10th, is another question. Will they ever escape this cold? Return to and reclaim the idyllic spaces of which Jullus spoke?
Oh, Jullus. No, I don't think they will.
Finished your war, Council?
Alphinaud and Alisaie are to stay here, as our prisoners. They will be released once your comrades have relinquished their supplies and withdrawn from Garlean soil.
Oh, that is a mistake. You guys are stepping knee-deep into a bunch of shit with that.
Until our terms are met, they will be detained at a separate location.
After everything we've said and done, this is how you treat us.
Man, you guys just deserve to die, Garleans.
Our allies have but limited supplies. They may stave off cold and starvation for a short while, but what then?
Oh, he doesn't care about your allies. You gonna zap him? Come on.
For now, keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands the Garleans make, indulge them.
Everything will be right. I'll sound like Oriange. Have faith, and all will be well.
Get them out of here.
Alphinaud and Alisaie will be fine, providing they do not resist. Oh, that's the scene from the trailer. You will accompany me back to your camp, where I will meet with your leader and present Lord Quintus's demands. Before we depart, however, there's something I would ask of you. Assuming your contingent complies, the supplies they surrender will need to be transported here. That task falls to the Legionnaires Marcellinus and Octavia, who will pilot Magitech armor to your headquarters. You are to inform them that we are leaving shortly. Tell them to ask the Eel for further details in those words. Once you've seen to that, meet me by the exit. Ask the Eel? Oh, it's this bitch. What do you want with me? Ask the Ill, so Lord Quintus has reached his decision. I know he would understand, that he would recognize the savage is a ruthless, merciless creature, and to defeat him we too must be uncompromising. I am ready. In the name of Emperor Varus, for the glory of Garlemald, I will fulfill my duty. Oh god. I really don't know how I'm supposed to be sympathetic to these guys. I just can't be. You again. Ask the Ill, he said. Ha ha ha, sigh. So, that's to be the way of it after all this. How ironic that you should be the one to deliver the news. What, is he gonna, like, attack our camp? If those are my orders, then so be it, for the glory of Garlemald. Are they gonna, like, fucking suicide bomb the camp? Have you done as instructed? Their duties involve more than the transportation of supplies, don't they? What did you mean by ask the ill? Duty is rarely a simple thing. We have been given additional orders, though. Whether we will be required to follow them depends entirely on your contingent. You and I are in this together now. Like it or not, we have to cooperate. We don't have to, but... There is one other matter, a place I'd like to visit on the way to your camp. It's a short walk from here. Follow me.
This is my home. Our home. At least it was, until that night. I was with Lord Quintus when the capital fell, and thus spared. My family, who did not own a radio, were less fortunate. When dawn came, I made my way here. My parents, my little brother and sister, they were still inside. But they weren't themselves, and they tried to. And I had to. I'd promised to take them away from the capital that very morning, to somewhere safe, to hide until the fighting stopped. I promised. Garlean flag bears a chain, the bonds between our countrymen. A red link at its center, the blood of the fallen. Our loved ones who lived and died for Garlemald. But if she too fell, who would be left to remember them and their sacrifice? What enduring proof would there be that they were ever here?
The impact you left on the people you subjugated. I mean, that is a pretty long-standing thing.
If we had turned to your gods, would they have saved us?
I mean, no, because they're primals, so you would have been tempered?
I'm sorry, forget I spoke. We should go.
It's no use. Believe me, I do not enjoy being here any more than you. But he wanted us to play along, so that is what we will do.
Move closer, dummy. He's too slow on the uptake.
It's so cold.
Painfully so. Unbearably.
Don't freeze to death, though. You have your fire, right?
I've been thinking about what Quintus said. About why no one would accept Garlean rule. Irreconcilable differences. When coexistence isn't an option, only conquest remains.
Yeah, they don't want to coexist. That's the huge problem. Everyone else is willing to a certain degree to coexist, but Garleans, it's either all or nothing. It's no way for other people to live.
Varys at Gimlet said much the same. Only by uniting the world beneath a single standard would we rid ourselves of the Ascians. United as one people, one race cleansed of imperfections.
Yeah, like, I'm not into Garleans because they're like fantasy fascists, like fantasy Nazis. It's very hard for me to feel sorry for these guys.
A cold and unforgiving vision. And when we fail to live up to their standards, what place is there for us in their world? But the truly sad, truly frustrating thing is how damnably similar it all is to the lofty ideals of Father and the Forum.
Yeah, they don't want to compromise either.
Non-intervention. Always non-intervention. Protect our knowledge and our people, and to hells with the rest of you. And yet, I can see how it happened. Varys and Father looked to their elders for guidance and took their virtues as their own. But for this world was of their making. In who else could they place their trust? All of us lost in a sea of chaos, searching desperately for purpose and meaning. But it shouldn't just be an extension of another's. It has to be ours. It has to be.
Yeah.
We all have a stake in this world. No one should be silenced.
I won't deny that we lack the experience of people such as Father or Quintus. Perhaps they've come to see the world as a series of problems, and the most efficient way of solving them, to reduce everything to fundamental forms. A stone is a stone, a cloud, a flower, no more than that. Simple descriptions that strip the subject of distinguishing characteristics. A man is a man, divided according to race, creed, or allegiance, and to some, defined by such associations.
Is that what you think?
In my misbegotten youth. But what I believed wisdom was no more than aggressive ignorance. I've since learned to look beyond the banners and the politics. To see people as individuals with their own hopes and dreams. As for my dream of building a better world, well, every day I'm reminded that it is far more complex than I had ever imagined. But it only spurs me onward, to find the wisdom and the strength to see it through to the very end.
All of our supplies and an immediate withdrawal. These are your conditions?
Oh boy.
Demands. And you forgot about the airship.
What?
Once again, you will leave one behind. It will be used to return the prisoners. Their collars will be removed prior to the exchange.
So in the end, not even Father's expertly worded rhetoric could deter you from your chosen course.
Huh?
Not that I thought for a moment that it would. I've no love for violence, of course, but ours is a cause worth fighting for. I just wish he'd realize it too. Sometimes the only way to protect the ones you love is to take a stand, to refuse to suffer in silence. I want you to know I share your conviction. Whether it be on the battlefield or in the debating chamber, I won't back down. I guess what I'm saying is...
You've found your own reason to fight.
Yes. Yes, I have. God's willing, there will come a day when we can finally lay down our arms, and there will be peace. But not until the Telophoroi have been defeated once and for all.
That be the end of it? I mean, there's no such thing as just, that's the final end. Then when there's no singular thing for everyone to unite against, wouldn't everybody just go right back to having their differences and disagreements? It's a bit idealistic to think that that's all you need to do to achieve peace.
And you, brother, will have a vital part to play. By your words and deeds, you'll lead the way.
I pray I am up to the task.
You'll get there.
There'll always be naysayers. Those who think us fools for even trying. It's easy for learned elites to criticize earnest efforts and assert their moral superiority, all without offering alternatives. Not that their sophistry has ever wounded you. So stubborn and strong. Stronger than you even know. Don't ever change, you hear me? If you stumble, I'll be there to catch you. Or give you a thick ear. Maybe both, for good measure.
You better do what you always dreamed of doing or I'll beat you up.
Thank you, Alisaie.
Aww. Oh. Oh, Thancred? Oh, Estinian. They're not playing around anymore. Uh-oh. They're going to say that those guys are free, and this guy's deal is not going to work anymore.
The scouts have secured Alisaie and Alphinaud. Their collars were removed without complication as well.
Oh boy.
They report no casualties, Not for their party, nor the guards, who will wake from their premature slumber in due course.
It would appear the situation has changed. I propose new terms. We have information that will be of great interest to Lord Quintus, and I wish to speak with him in person.
Don't do something stupid, kid.
No. In the event you rejected our first proposal, we came prepared with a second.
Whoa.
Ambush!
More are coming! Make ready!
So you've chosen death.
We, the loyal soldiers of the First Legion, proud servants of Garlemald, of the fallen Emperor Varys, shall safeguard these lands from the barbarian hordes until our countrymen return!
Oh, you guys are done.
Stop! Both of you!
This child may be the worst emissary I have ever seen.
We received an urgent communication from the Grand Company of Eorzea. Envoys from the Imperial Army, led by members of the 10th Legion, came to Alamigo and requested an audience.
Oh, went behind their back.
They explained that their efforts to coordinate the reclamation of the capital with the aid of the 4th, 5th, 8th, and 12th had ended in failure. Communication between most legions has broken down entirely. Most of the 10th's conscripts have deserted, leaving their forces severely depleted. That is why, unable to continue the fight on their own, they and their allies turned to the Grand Company of Eorzea for aid.
Lies! Every word!
It is the truth, and I have not finished. The 10th has requested that we deliver a message to Lord Quintus.
Wait, why didn't they just do that themselves?
Have the ill stand down.
You have been listening, my lord? What are your orders?
Inform her that we will honor the 10th's decision. Bereft of hope, and now dignity.
I thought you already didn't have dignity.
I release you from your duty. All of you.
Go freeze outside.
I take solace, your radiance, in the knowledge you are not here to witness our debasement. 'Twas a grand, glorious dream we shared. Of a world united, of peace and prosperity.
You guys are just so delusional. Is he gonna?
We are ghosts, you and I. Memories of days gone by.
He's not gonna, like, kill himself, is he?
Bonds forged in blood that I will not see tarnished.
Oh, shit. Well, answer my own question.
Quickly! We have to reach the station before it's too late.
It's already too late, though.
If there is still a chance that Quintus will agree to a truce, we must take it.
You guys just don't listen to what they say. They really want to believe that they can effect a change, but they're just not listening to how these guys are not ever going to agree to those demands.
I just hope we get there before he and his men do something rash.
Unfortunate choice of words. We can get that etherite turned on now, right?